Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all doing well and happy Mother's Day for everyone out there who, well, you're a mom. You're having to put up with some knucklehead like me, whatever. Happy Mother's Day to you. Hope everyone is well. Father Star, good to see you. Hey, work on time. Mortal. So, let's talk about the obvious thing that we need to cover first. Many of you know that earlier this past week, the Working Dragon Mystic Gilded community it disappeared. It's gone. I just straight off the boat. I'm assuming no malicious intent whatsoever. Um, that way I can stay objective as we try to figure out what happened. Um, I have not heard anything, but then again, let's be honest, it's the weekend. Did anyone really think we'd get an email back on a weekend? I didn't. If I had, I'd have probably been more surprised. Um, However, with that said, myself and the admin have very, very much been proactive in coming up with solutions. Assuming we get no answer and assuming the answer we get we don't like, whatever, we want to make sure we're prepared no matter what. So we're preparing for the worst case scenario. That's just who I am. I always am. If I prepare for the worst and it doesn't happen, I'm just that much happier. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if you were in the gilded community, head over to locals as a free member. If you want to support us, you can head over. You can choose the supporter option, but head over. Make sure you sign up at locals. We are going to start funneling everything community wise through locals. Okay, just start funneling it in there. Information, updates, stuff like that. We are looking at solutions because many of you know the members on locals don't get the ability to make the post and take part in the live chats and stuff like that. We are trying to problem solve and come up with a solution there. We think we might have something. Me and the admins got a meeting tonight. We're going to discuss exactly what solutions everyone's came up with, what ideas we have, and which ones we want to go with. And we're going to start implementing those as soon as we can. So thank you all for putting up with the Farfignugan or whatever you want to call this foobar situation that we got going. But that's okay. We adapt and overcome, you know. I actually do practice what I preach on this channel when we talk about that mage-minded thing. Um, you know, one of the things that I've said before is the obstacle is the way. And that's, a condensed Stoic quote. But I truly do believe that. And I think, honestly, this is going to be a blessing in disguise, in truth. I really think it can be. But while we're on the topic there, for those interested in the locals page, I'll go ahead and make sure the link is available to you all there. That is the locals page. And you know what? I'm also going to drop a link to the Working Dragon Mystic website, general website there. So at the general website, you can access the Rumble channel, the YouTube channel, the online school, the locals community. I think the merch site is even accessible from that site. So if you want a one-stop shop for Working Dragon Mystic, that's it. If you're just interested in the locals, there's that as well. All right. Let's see. Is that Cisco? Yes, coffee time indeed. Everyone's coffee be blessed. Okay, so with that, with everything going on, I did not prepare a topic, so we'll just run this old school and do a full open forum this weekend. Hope everyone enjoys that. For those who don't know, we are running a research project over at the locals community. We've gotten some great results with that. It's we're working with a few entities trying to answer some questions. If you are interested in taking part in that research project and want to know more about it, pop over there and check it out. We've had a lot of fun with it. I think for the locals community, those taking part, I should be. I think I'll be ready to update this week. So keep your eyes open for me to do a live video or something this week. Um, across, it'll be for members and supporters, um, discussing my personal findings. And I got a few things like from my findings that I want to do, and I want to share those too. But I don't know if I'll have time to get those done before I do the live. If not, I'll update those later too. But lots of stuff happening. It's going to be a lot of fun. Happy midnight from England. Yep, it's midnight over there. Whew. Yep. Hope you are doing well. Coffee pot always be full. That's what I need is an ever full coffee pot. That would be amazing. Scramps, good to see you. Hello. I do have to give a shout out to the community in general. Like when this happened, like I've seen communities where they just dive, they just nosedive full on negative. You guys didn't do that. Big thumbs up to you. Everybody stayed positive. Everybody was. I've been contacted by quite a few people, or the admin have, asking what happened. You know, it was just nice to see the community not spiral into it's obviously the Illuminati negativity, just weird stuff that happens. So thank you for that. We ain't going anywhere. Way too much work to do. Amen to that. Amen to that. We got way too much work to do. So yeah, that's just pretty that straightforward. Hi Drake. I went to get back in the saddle of evocation with what do I start? So when you say get back in the saddle of evocation, I'm assuming you mean start a practice again. I would actually look at where you had gotten prior. Like let's say me. There has been a time, it's actually early when I was setting up this channel, I think, or sometime thereafter. Due to a lot of the work I was doing and filming 101 and other courses, I essentially did not end up doing any evocation work for like a year, maybe two. And in those cases where I'm not evoking daily, I'm just taking a break. My research or my projects or whatever that just isn't happening. I usually truly what I do is I jump straight back in. Those first few evocations, yeah, they can be a little harder, but for me, I just jump straight back in. So, in fact, back then when I'd done it, and it occurred to me that I haven't evoked squat. I knew the first entity I wanted to contact. It's like I need to talk to Freya, so I'm going to do an evocation, and that's when it dawned on me how long it'd been since I'd done an evocation. I honestly sat down and done a full evocation of Freya. I didn't go back to contact evocation or astral evocation. I just jumped in. The ritual itself, notably, was longer than my normal average when I'm active and, those muscles are fresh and all that. But by and large, that's just what I do. I don't see any reason personally in stepping back my progress just because I haven't done it in a year or two. I really don't. Those entities, those friendships, it's just like meeting an old friend. It really is. Like I got friends I haven't seen and talked to in years yet. If for whatever reason they came from out of town, we'd go out, we'd have lunch, and we'd just pick up right where we left off. We really would. I honestly treat evocation and honestly most magical practices that way. I say most just because I'm leaving a room for error, but I can't think of a practice where I usually step down if I've been away from it. That includes divinations and other things. Because I got so much stuff going on and life happens that it would be impossible for me to keep up all the different knowledge bases 24/7 every day of my life. So it's bound to happen. But that would be my personal if I was you, I would just step right back in where you were. Yes, the rituals are going to be initially they're going to feel harder. They may take a little longer to get full, but it's kind of like riding a bicycle. It comes back to you really, really quickly, if that makes sense. Let's see. Seti read, I keep pulling, expect miracles, and trust higher power cards. I have reprogrammed a lot of thoughts, but struggling with this. Any tips? Um, I'm one like I grew up with the concept of miracles. I grew up in a very religious home, so trust in higher powers. For me, it wasn't a matter of reprogramming. It was just a where do you want to put your trust? And at the end of the day, I put my trust in me. And miracles, I'm probably not the best guy to ask because in truth, I don't believe in miracles at all. I've seen too much in the world to believe in miracles. Okay. In my mind, the only place miracles and things like that reside is actually within fiction and Disney. I've never seen anything in the real world to make me believe in miracles. There's a lot of cool stuff that's happened, um, but nothing that I would place on the pedestal of a true miracle, me personally speaking. I'm very skeptical by nature too. As to reprogramming yourself, it's not so much reprogramming, it's literally how do you want to live? And you got to consider that if you're turning to tarot cards also, are you turning to the cards or are you turning to yourself? That's another question. That's one reason I love divinations, but I do not like tarot cards because too many people look at the cards as they are a living, breathing, thinking being that they're taking advice from. Like if I was to get advice from a mentor or someone, and at the end of the day, the person reading the card is really the important factor. You are the important factor, not the cards. The cards are literally pieces of paper. You could get any piece of paper and write on it and do the exact same reading. So you got to learn to trust in yourself and you got to understand that. If that makes sense. Let's see. Think that's why I'm struggling because I prefer to rely on myself, but these cards keep coming up and I think they're just mean to expect good and receive good. I don't divinate every day just when I'm drawn. Okay, so first off, cards are going to come up by and large. They're going to come up, just sheer odds. It's going to come up, and the fact that you keep getting those cards, like you say, expect miracles and higher powers. Those terms alone, especially in divinations, this is a great impromptu lesson on divinations. Those terms in divinations have a very broad meaning. So when we're talking expect miracles, that could mean a true miracle. That is only one of the many, 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 many meanings. Or it could be something you're having a really hard time with, struggling with, and suddenly it just clicks. And this could be anything from something you're studying, something you've been working on, a skill you're trying to develop, or a flipping video game. How many people have played a video game? You're having a hard time, you're cussing at the game, you're just pounding your head against the same battle over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then suddenly you just cruise right on through. You're past that obstacle and you cruise on through the game, right? People's like, frick, it's a miracle. I beat him. I beat him. That's not a miracle. That's called perseverance, but it feels like a miracle. So, an event that takes place that gives you the sensation or feeling of joy that one might use the terminology or the colloquialism of a miracle, that could also be what that card represents. Take that into consideration. Higher power, higher power can mean anything. Higher power can even be your own self awareness, your own sixth sense, your own perseverance. So, for a lot of people, for a lot of people, the concept of perseverance, the concept of being able to get up, dust yourself off, and keep on going, the determination, the discipline. There's a lot of people who think very, very highly of people who have these traits, and they can't comprehend how these people do what they do in life because they have not cultivated these traits. And these traits that to me should be an everyday trait for everyone, those could also be viewed as a higher power. And I can even bring that down simpler. Mathematics, for example. My wife is a human calculator. I freaking suck at math. Unless I'm counting dollars, I don't trust my math. The only time I'm good with math is when it's money, which is weird, but it's true. Any other time, my dyslexia kicks in, everything kicks in. I have to triple, quadruple check myself always. Like, I can even screw it up if I got a calculator. Not lying. I can. So, to me, that feels very extraordinary power that my wife has there. You could call that a higher power. Again, there's a lot for interpretation there. Don't let the common use of the term miracle or higher power taint the divination. You need to step back and listen to your intuition when you're doing a divination. And if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't sound right, push it to the side and continue to think. What is this saying? What does it pertain to me? Open your senses. The cards aren't doing shit. The cards are just a medium for which your intuition opens up to a larger area. Okay. So you're the higher power. You are the one that can create that massive change that may feel like a miracle. But you have to be willing to open up to it. Does that make some sense? That's one reason, like, I love tarot, but at the same time, I don't really use it much. My favorite divination is scrying. Since being initiated into the Bella family voodoo practice years ago, throwing the bones has actually quickly become one of my favorites. And of course, you all know I love runes. And that's, if anyone's watched my rune class for over at the locals, you will know that people try to read runes like tarot cards, but you shouldn't. So I would actually say step back, try to push away the pop culture meaning of those two cards and think about the broader spectrum of them. Give that a try, mate. See if that helps a little. And try it this week, actually, and get back with me next Sunday. Let me know. Or if you're over on Locals as a supporter, drop a comment. Let me know in there also. You can post your own comments in there. And make sure you tag me. Make sure you say, hey, Drake. That way I'll see it. Let's see. I view it as teamwork. Entity. It is teamwork. Okay. In truth, if you want to get to the concept of higher powers, I don't believe in higher powers. I would say the same thing. Every entity I work with, I do not worship them. I do not bow to them. I do not believe they are better than me in any shape, form, or fashion. They are entities. They have different skill sets. Just like a human being has different skill sets, right? There's a lot of things that a lot of people come to me for help and advice on. And there's a lot of things that if you're coming to me, dude, you got bigger problems. Because I can't help with that. Like, if you want brain surgery, I'm not the guy. Go away. So entities just have different skill sets. They are different from us. Sure. I mean, sharks can breathe water and swim really great, and they're great hunters in the sea. Humans are not. We absolutely suck at that. Does that make them a higher power? No, it makes them different. I would say entities actually are in that same category. They can do things we can't, but I do not view them as higher. That's the reason I refuse to work with a bulk of the Egyptians, especially Ra, is they're so gung-ho on the necessity for worship, and I will not do it. So yeah, teamwork all the way. That's a great way to view it. Let's see, Immortal. I still do that with games. I still do. I will cuss and gripe and yell and scream, but once you get through it, man, it feels so good. It feels good. Accomplishment feels good. Anyway. Let's see. Whoa, we jumped. I did that with Elden Ring. Everybody keeps mentioning that game. One of these days, I'm gonna have to break down and try that game, Elden Ring. I have never tried it. Of course, I don't have a lot of time to play video games as much as I used to. Temple of the Gods. Hey, Drake, do you think the Anunnaki will return in our lifetime? Also, when will you be releasing Dragon Magic 103? Both great questions. First off, I don't know that I actually believe in the Anunnaki theories and hypothesis, point blank. So, based on that, I'm going to say no. However, I do actually love interesting theories. And just because I don't believe in them, just because I can't, they don't hold water, in my opinion, doesn't mean I don't try to stay up with them and research them more, because I could be wrong, right? Anybody ever been wrong? Happened to me all the time. So I do try to keep up with them. And, when it comes to myths and legends and stuff like that, and, everybody's got their own end of the world or next evolution theory, all this, everybody's got them. Every culture, every religion, every guy in a tinfoil hat. We all got them, right? That being said, everything I've studied, from the people who do believe in these theories, I'm not seeing anything that would actually correlate with their actual return. There is a lot of people who are begging and pleading and hoping they return to fix this shit. Because let's be honest, things have gotten a little cray-cray. We won't go into detail on them. If you guys want to go into some detail about some of these theories and hypotheses and prophecies and stuff like that, that gets into the mess going on, we can do that over at Locals. If we get into it here, let's be honest, we'll get deleted. But the short summary of that is, stop hoping for someone to come back and fix our problems. We created these problems, people. These are our problems. They're our responsibility to fix, point blank. And if you want somebody to come fix them for us, you're part of the problem, because you already gave up. And y'all, I tell people all the time, you didn't fuck up. You didn't make a mistake. Get back up, dust yourself off, keep going. The one exception to that is when you give up. That's the one time I'm ever disappointed in anyone. The moment you give up is the moment you can't. It's the moment it's impossible. If you're not willing to keep trying, then why'd you bother to begin with? That's my 2 cents on it. So I've not seen anything that makes me believe they would return if I did believe in them. And yeah, and the same thing goes for like other entities. Because I don't, for one, think the Anunnaki shaped our evolution in the way that the theories say. I personally do not. But at the same time, let's shift that gear and go into, the dragons or the Norse entities. Do I think they're going to ride in and save our butts? Actually, I don't. I truly don't. It's up to us to fix it. That being said, if they did show up and everything, that could be kind of cool. Of course, Jesus showing back up could be kind of cool. Odin riding in would be cool. I mean, there's a lot of things that would be cool, but I don't put those in the realm of reality just because they'd be cool. So it's one of those things. And I don't knock it. Like, if you believe in the Anunnaki, I'm not knocking you. It's just, you all know me. I'm a data-driven person. I don't do faith. I don't do hope. I don't do those things. I can't do them. I've been burned way too many times in my life. Okay? Can't do it. So I don't knock it. And that's why I continue to research. I continue to look into them, because I do find the theories and the ideals fascinating. It's just, I can't claim to believe in it and think something's going to return. I can look at the prophecies and I can tell you out of the gates, I don't personally believe in the Anunnaki. That I can say, in the way most of those theories are put forth. And I have to be honest out of the gate. And then from that, I can say, from the research I've done and everything I've seen, I don't think they're coming back in our lifetime. If they do, that's the most fair and honest way I can do it. Math is mental abuse to humanity. No, math is simple logic. Even I absolutely admit that. Math can be tricky, um, but it's basic logic. It really is. It's not mental abuse. Um, so if it helps, it was Archangel Michael and Holy Spirit cards. The deck is multicultural. No, that doesn't really change a thing. The deck doesn't change. How the deck's built, what the deck is, changes nothing. So no, that wouldn't matter. Everything I said prior would still hold up. Let's see, Mystic. Is that Luis? I think. If I mess up the names, as always, I apologize. Also, if you are here, give us a thumbs up. It does help the channel. Algorithm. She's not liking little channels and small channels and independent channels, but if you give us the thumbs up, it does draw the attention more. And that's one of the best ways you can support the channel. Just give us that thumbs up if you're here. Let's see. I love tarot, but I'm finding it difficult lately after 7 years of using it. I really do feel it is a psychological tool. A lot of time, my readings don't make sense in doing readings too much. Yeah. All divination tools are tools to tap into your own divinations. True divinations doesn't require the tool. It really does not. It does not. Which I'm wanting to start a series trying to discuss that because that is something a lot of people's asked me about. But once you actually get into divinations, you can set the tools aside because the tool is just tapping into your natural abilities. And the tool's not required. And it's funny because I've actually seen children that can figure that out. Because I've seen children like someone was doing a rune reading and they're like, "You're the one picking up the information," and it's like, "What?" It was cute. But you are correct. Psychological tool. Let's see. Cisco. I say that in the same way. Respect, not reverence. Yep. I can't do the reverence. I really can't. I will respect a person. There is a. Yeah, I don't think reverence would be the right word. So yeah, definitely it's respect. Let's see. The game is very good. Cool mythology references, but so so good. The combat changes every time you try to. Oh, that's pretty neat. See, Angela, if any entity ever did return, I'd get them some coffee and say, "Hey, welcome. It's crazy down here, but I got coffee." Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's one of those things where, if they showed up, my first one, my hospitality'd kick in. Hey, come on in. You want some coffee? How about some food? Um, Once they're settled in with their beverage or food, if they want it, my first thought, hands down, is why did you choose to come here? Why not find some nice, beautiful, quiet place where we're not screwing shit up? Why? um, that would be. I hate to say it. Like I wish I thought there would be some great insightful wisdom that I would ask, but in truth, I wouldn't. I'd be like, why did you come here of all places? There's got to be any place better than this. Which, don't get me wrong, I love this planet. I marvel at how beautiful this planet is. And I do love life. I love the challenges of life, the struggles. I really do. It is something to be said for human nature and overcoming those struggles. At the same time, at this point in human history, we have poured on some extra crazy sauce, people. um, Do I ever ask the beings I work with about extraterrestrials? Not as often as a lot of people probably hoped I do. Um, but part of that is you're talking about entities that span the multiverse. And because of that, most things are not of Earth. Extraterrestrial means not of Earth. So the dragons are extraterrestrials, the Fae are extraterrestrials, the light elves are extraterrestrials, the Jotun are extraterrestrials, the fire giants within the Norse are extraterrestrials, because they did not originate on Earth. Technically, the Aesir and Vanir are extraterrestrials because they did not originate on Earth. Earth actually came from them if you look at the Norse mythology. All these things are extraterrestrials, they're outside of Earth. Um, Thus leading into a severely confusing conversation often, especially with the Fae. Oh, freaking God. Don't start that conversation with the Fae. They're just going to go in maddening, infinite circle spiral of confuse you. And they're doing it on purpose. They absolutely are doing it on purpose. But um, so I don't. At the same time, I love UFO research and stuff like that. A lot of people really don't like my approach because I'm very scientific, I'm very data driven, and I'm the debunker. I don't believe every little thing is a UFO in the sense that do I believe that's an alien. I literally stick to the UFO in its actual meaning, as in unidentified flying object. If it flies, if it's not identified, and it's an object, that's a UFO. That does not mean it's an alien. That could easily be some aircraft we don't understand. That could be some natural phenomena we don't understand. It could be a craft from outer space also, but that doesn't always just mean UFO. And too many people have become zealotry in their belief that everything in the sky is UFO. That's one of the reasons I oftentimes avoid UFO groups, unfortunately. uh, but I am hoping, like, this is one of the things I think I've mentioned. I don't know if it's on locals or here, but I am actually thinking about doing more talks on UFOs. And the reason being because, if you want to see something happen, be that change, right? You've heard that. I want some sanity and some rationality and some objectivity to come back to UFO research because I think it's an amazing area of research. I really, 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 really do. And I think, I have a platform. I like to talk. Why don't I do it? It fits in with our occult topics, and a lot of you all love them. So I am actually thinking about doing a bit more on UFOs and aliens and stuff like that. But I'm going to try and keep it on the objective side and have some fun with it because there's some really cool stuff coming out. There really is. There's some really cool stuff out there and some findings. So yeah, if you got some pictures or videos that you would like me to see to review or anything on your UFOs, emails Working Dragon Mystic. Shoot them to me. We'll see what we can do. I'd happily review your all's footages and photos. Paranormal and UFO, by the way. Just if you send them, unless you state, do not use this on your channel. I may very well show it if it's a great example of some footage. I may use it. Even if it's one that doesn't get me excited, if I can use it as a teaching example of why, show it as a, why do I personally, I may do that too. You guys are very much a part of this community. So if you got those bits of footage or whatnot, yeah. And make sure you got tell me what name you want credited to it, whether it's your screen name or whatever. That way I can give you credit when you send it too. If you don't want credit put in there, list me as anonymous. Roger that. We'll do that. So yeah, just let me know. Cookie, good to see you. Let's see, extraterrestrial. Yeah, I've said that a million times. If I was an extraterrestrial, I would roll the windows up, lock the doors, and floor it straight past Earth. I really would. Let's see. Cookie. Can all spirits move objects in the physical plane? How do these spirits move objects? There's no actual guarantee that of how they're doing it. There's theories. There's no way to prove any of these theories, Cookie. By and large, the larger going theory is that they actually draw up enough ether to either A, they're condensing themselves enough to where they're almost shifting into the physical realm, giving them just enough physicality to move, push, or accelerate the object. Others believe it's a form of telekinesis through the ether. And then one of the other prevailing theories out there is they're manipulating the protons and electrons in the physical mass, which, for those who may not know, protons and electrons are positively or negatively charged, and they're theorizing, much like a magnet, it's accelerating it away, just kind of almost like a railgun. Those are some of the prevailing theories. I think all those theories hold reasonable amounts of water. I really do. But as to how they're doing it, at this point in time, no human being actually 100% knows. So I can't say this is how they're doing it. Now, to the question of can all entities do it? This is a question I have posed to entities that I have spoken to, and it comes down to focus and concentration. Not all entities who are non-physical have learned to muster the will to do it. Many entities will, say it differently, but it can be learned. It can be done. And the ones that are the least likely to do it, obviously, are human spirits that ain't been dead that long. And there are some that have been dead a long time and they haven't picked it up. Usually these are entities that didn't have the strongest will in life. Also, which again reads credence to the theories because the spirits that seem to move the most objects are usually the entities of higher emotion and will. Usually tend to be the ones that have that ability earliest on. So it's a correlation only, not causation. So it props the theories up, but it doesn't prove anything, if that makes sense. We got to consider that. Hope that helps you a little bit. Probably not, but hey. Let's see. We should do it. I'd love an alien UFO themed coffee hour because that sort of stuff is fun. It really is. It really is. I get in trouble a lot. I really do, because where I try to stay logical and everything, and like I just don't take things on, woohoo, it's fun faith. I get in trouble a lot. They're like, you're really Debbie Downer. How dare you? And of course, y'all know me. I don't give a fuck. Cookie, we mentioned the Gilded earlier. You can go back and watch that a little bit. We did give some announcements and updates, and we are working on it. Best I can tell you at this time, go to locals, get on there as a member. All the updates and everything's going to be funneled straight through there as quick as we can. I cannot promise the Gilded server will be back up. I cannot. I'm not going to make you all a promise I can't keep. All I can say is we are troubleshooting for as many possible scenarios as we can. We're actually trying for all. We probably can't. We're human, but we are troubleshooting and doing the best we can do. That's the best I can do. Okay. We are trying to find a way to make sure the community is connected. And we're trying to actually create a solution that doesn't work for 1 to 2 years. And we need a new solution because y'all remember this happened with Discord. And then we got shut down, and then we went to Gilded, and everything's like, hey, it's yay, everything's groovy and great. And then this happened. At least at locals, we know we have control of the community. We know that they're not going to shut us down for random reasons. So, we have that assurity. So there we go. So right now, since we have at least that assurity for locals, we're going to funnel everything through there for the time being. and maybe the foreseeable future, depending on which solution we go. Let's see. Let's see. Hugs the whole chat. Who wants hugs? I got your black coffee. I got your black coffee for you to set out. Nice. I love me some black coffee. Let's see. Creator, is it possible to cleanse the astral plane around a house? I am trying to clean my house, and I believe I'm not doing it right. I keep trying to trap this one entity that keeps effing with me. Well, if you're trapping, it's not going to do nothing to cleanse it. When you cleanse an area, it's the area, period. So, for example, a lot of magicians will state that, like, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, perfect example, clears out the area of astral nasties. It doesn't do a whole lot for the physical realm. It does the astral realm. In fact, most things when we're talking about entities and whatnot, those are still going to be in that astral realm area. Cleansing your house does nothing if you don't have it warded and protected. Okay, it's like taking somebody, throwing them outside, and leaving the door wide open, and they just walk back in. Okay, cleansing does nothing to keep them out. It just cleanses. It's like sweeping and dusting and vacuuming. And anyone my age, it's like when your mom sent you all outside to play, he's like, get out of here, I got clean. She dusted, she vacuumed, she mopped. Well, if before she was ready for you to come in, if she just left those windows and doors open, you're going to run back on in, probably get knocked into Sunday of next year when you stepped on her mopped floor. But you learned. Same thing. If you don't have some form of barrier protection or something to actually repel and keep them out, a cleansing is not going to do anything. Cleansing it's just house cleaning for magical and ethereal and astral level. But it doesn't do anything to ward, protect, or defend. So if you're doing the cleansing, make sure you're putting up some kind of ward, defense, or barrier. If it's in the home, when you do the cleansing, it should get rid of it. If what's there is actually there. That's the kicker. And I don't know what's there. I don't know what you think is there. There's a lot of things here that troubleshooting wise that does become complicated. And you can actually set your protection so that things can go out but not in. All mine allow things out but not in. Let's see. Angeli, I'm going to call you Glover. I think it's Angeli. Cool name, by the way. It differs. Like if you're just starting out your wards, I actually would, like when I'm initially setting up wards, the work goes daily for a month when I'm first setting up a new ward. A ward, not a shield. Wards and shields are not the same. Let's be clear here. I will actually work on that ward, charge that ward daily for a month. After that first month, I start charging it weekly. And I usually do a weekly charge on that ward for 6 months to a year. And then after that year, I try to do regular maintenance on them monthly. However, I have found, because there's times when I haven't been able to do maintenance monthly, like when I move, I have found that after that year, if I miss a month, they're solid. But I do find that they hold up better if you charge them monthly. And that just buys you that insurance policy if you miss a month. The longest I've missed, and I can be sure my wards were good, was I missed 2 months in a row once, and they held solid. But just because they held solid for that 2 months, they are not permanent even then. They will need charge. They will dissipate with time. So if you make it a monthly habit to recharge, it's great. I know a lot of people who do a deep clean on their house weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending. And they include their wards in part of that cleaning. For me, I do very specific cleanings and whatnot on the house throughout the month, right? Just like you mow the grass once a week. I actually put the charge into my wards in my house cleaning, house maintenance. So once a month, I know that this needs to be done. Just like, what is it? A lot of people change their air fresheners once a month, right? If you got air fresheners. Same concept. I just put it on that list of chores. Setting them up's the hard part, because the initial setup to get the energy in them to hold and do their job, that's the hard part. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of attention. And if you're doubling, like if you use one ward and you're trying to put 12 things on that ward, don't. You can put 2 different wards into the same object, but you can only do one at a time, because the more you try to spread it out, the more you dilute it, and it doesn't hold. It becomes fragile, brittle, and it just falls apart and unravels very, very quickly. I'm going to do a workshop on wards, people. I'll do a workshop on wards. Did I already? I think we already did one. We might have already done one. If not, we'll repeat it. Either way, we're going to repeat it if we did it. I'll be honest. Placing crystals, if you haven't done anything to the crystal's a rock. I'm sorry. I know that's a hot take. A lot of people hate it, but a crystal's a rock. There's nothing innately, specifically powerful about them if you don't do anything to them. So whether it's a crystal, where it's wood, whether you went out and got driveway gravel, you still have to actually build the ward itself. Same thing with anointing oils. Anointing oils offer a minor shield and protection temporarily, even when they're properly charged. And if you're buying it, I'll be honest, I can't remember the last time I went into an occult store and found properly charged anointing oil, which pisses me off. Really pisses me off. But that's a rant for a different day. Let's see. Besides the town you visit in the Dragon Magic 102, what other places could you explore safely? Are you talking about in the Dragon Realm? The answer is none. None. If you're talking about the Draconic Realm, the answer is none. That's why that like central hub town thingy's there. Yeah, because if you're talking in that specifically, Immortal, I may have missed something on your previous comment, but if I'm understanding the comment correctly, the answer is none. LOL, my French name always gives people problems. You can say Angela. Okay. Thank you. I spent a lot of time in Cajun country, so like it's weird. People think I took French, but I didn't. I don't know a lick of French, so don't even try me. I know a lot of Cajun slang. My wife took French, so actually some of what I may know and ramble off when not thinking might have come from her. But yeah, I never took it. I did horribly. Hell, I took 2 years of Spanish and learned no hablo español, no hablo inglés. I was bad at it. Oh, I should have paid better attention in school. If you're making a ward, it has to have an anchor. It's not a matter of can you, it has to have an anchor. Wards are not just energetic constructs. They have to have a physical anchor of some kind that you're constantly working with. You could use a crystal. I don't. Every time I've used a crystal, of course, let's be honest, I tend to piss people off more often than not. When a ward is hit, when it absorbs an impact, it moves through the whole ward. Think of like a shield. Like if you're holding a shield and something hits it, that impact is going to reverberate through that and into your arm. Same thing like when you're a kid sparring with sticks, that reverberation would go into your hands. Because of this, crystals break easy. Okay, especially quartz. Quartz is a very, very breakable crystal. Selenite's even worse. Let's be honest. Selenite, you sneeze on it, it breaks. So absolutely don't use it for wards. My favorite material over the years to use for wards has become wood. I like wood. It is solid. It is durable. If it falls, it doesn't break. I usually look for something. I like both hard and soft woods, depending. But they also have some flex and fibrous nature to them, which stops them from breaking as readily. And I mean, some people's like, well, I could use metal. You absolutely could use metal. There's nothing wrong with using metal. Metal's also expensive. And I like to carve into my wards. This ain't a ward, but so this is a good example though, because this is Exponwell's sigil, but wood like this, and this is actually El Cheapo little plaque wood that, well, actually, I don't know that. I didn't make this one. Jade made this one for me. This might be more expensive, but crafting wood like this, like it can take a licking and keep on ticking, right? That'd have been embarrassing if that broke up there. But since it also has a softer nature to it, it can absorb a lot. So I actually love using something like this, also because it allows me to carve into it. I also will use a lot of like sigils and runes that I will tie into very specific things that I can use in building the wards. And the softer wood makes it easier to carve into it. Hardwood, durable, definitely, but it can also be a little harder to carve into. Or burn into and different things like that. So those are things I'll go over in the workshop. But I actually do prefer wood. It's also really good for weather, whether I'm putting them indoors or outdoors. And I actually keep all my wards. I put no wards external. I put all wards internal, and they push past the house. That way no one can F around with my stuff outside. Hope that helps a little, creator. Let's see. Angela Grover, I work in a metaphysical store. Should I do any special cleaning myself before I go inside my home? That entirely depends on the store, Angela. That really does. I have been into metaphysical shops where the energy is absolutely sickening. It is. I don't know what they're doing in there. I don't know who. I don't know. Like I have been to insane asylums that are haunted that the energy felt better. So if you work in one of those, I would absolutely do a quick grounding, cleansing, whatever in your car before you went in your house. I really would. By and large, though, at least here in the US, I've been to thousands of these shops, and most of them, there's not a lick of energy that's going to matter because by and large, they don't practice what they preach. They just preach it to sell knickknacks and herbs and random shit. You do just as you'd find better energy and better product at a flea market, sadly. And most of their stuff is jacked up and overpriced. That, and then on the other end, you do have the metaphysical shops where they do practice what they preach. They are the authentic deal. And those shops are also the ones that usually show up early and stay late. And they're constantly keeping the energy in the shop at a good neutral pace because they know not only are the products going to draw things because of the energy in the products if they're pre-charged, but the clientele themselves, you just cannot. Practitioners, every practitioner out there has a different flavor of energy or ether. Let's be honest, okay? I got a lot of practitioners that I view them as love and lighting. Not, and I say it respectfully. I know normally I say love and lighting and mean it derogatory, but they're very, very bright people, and people love to be around them. They love to be around me. They know me. They know my hard edges. They know everything about me. They absolutely adore me. However, a lot of the friends they keep, a lot of the people they know, they want nothing to do with me. The moment I walk into the room, there's just something about me that no, I'm not offended. I don't care. I'm not a, they want to bugger off. I'm happy for them to bugger off. But that same interaction, when you're talking about a public place, that happens. That every time a person walks in, they're going to leave some change on that environment constantly. So it's just natural in a retail environment. And because of that, you've got people, they'll come in, they'll do a morning ritual, they'll set the day, set the energy, whether it be to help them make money, have everybody do a good day. At the end of the day, they're doing cleansings and all that. And, in those particular shops, you wouldn't need to do anything because of that. So it comes down to you particularly. When you're at that shop, how do you feel leaving? If you're feeling overly stressed, overly gunky or whatnot, you know what? I'm not even going to blame the shop. I don't care what the reason. Go ahead and do a quick little grounding and cleansing. Can't hurt nothing. If you think that, like when I was in retail, I used to carry an obsidian. Obsidian's supposed to, they say, collect a bunch of that yucky energy. And then every day at home, you can just cleanse the obsidian. That's another option to choose. Can't have too many lessons on word. That's true. That's true. That is true. I do remember in the last one, I don't think I had one that I could actually hold up because I do not show my wards publicly. So I need to make sure I have a ward design I can actually hold up and show. I think I actually made one on paper for that workshop. Now I'm remembering. Yeah, I did. I made one on paper to actually show the process. I turn every item in clean in space, doll, statue, ward. That makes sense. Well, if it's just a visualization, that's a shield, not a ward. Much like a bubble shield. Like you can technically shield your house. It's not really useful in most cases, very few cases, because shields, they're think of personal shielding. It rarely do they even last a day. If they're being tested, they won't last a day. So I find shielding a house pointless because halfway through the day it's going to be gone because it's being impacted by everything in the environment passing by. So I'm not a big fan of just the visualization shields for houses because of that. Some people love them, and I get it if you got the time and the effort. Again, it's that logical brain of mine gets in the way, Angela. We know my brain. It's too logical. It gets in the way all the time. Great. I moved to a new house. So I'm redoing my wards, etc. As far as crystals I've placed, I charge them with a protection spell. There you go. My wards are actually mobile. That way I don't have to reset them. I can actually pack them and move them with me. I have some that aren't mobile, but the primary layer is mobile. Are you still doing the Mage Minded series? Yes, the Mage Minded series will continue. The way we're going to be doing those is you'll see those like last week we had a topic for coffee hour. The Mage Minded series will be just like that. We're going to start doing a topic at the first half of coffee hour, and then the second half is going to be an open forum. So you will be seeing more of the Mage Minded ones. I meant to have a topic this week, but let's just say things went pear-shaped and foobarred with the Gilded. So we lost some, didn't have time to prep a good topic well enough, and I didn't want to just flail around. But you will be seeing more of the Mage Minded series. Yes, I've enjoyed that series, and I know a lot of you have as well. Whoa, we jumped. Okay, everybody, it is getting on that time. We're going to have to get ready to wrap up. I apologize if I did not get to your question. I will see you all next week. If all of y'all can't tell, Jade is not here today. She's a mama, so she's out doing Mother's Day things, I believe. I know it's a family event. I'll go ahead and drop the locals link. And admin, if you are watching this, no, there's not a meeting link yet because I've been busy, and Jade didn't drop a link because she's doing family stuff. I will be dropping it shortly. There's the locals link again for those of you all who are wanting to join and stay up to date on the community or consider supporting us. And there's, of course, is again the All Things Working Dragon Mystic website link. All right, everybody, have a great week. And I will be updating you all with more information about the whole snafu with Gilded as I can. Again, I apologize. But remember, don't worry about it. We'll overcome this. We got a great community. I have no doubt we're going to, not only will we overcome it, I think we'll grow and be better for it. I really do. All right, everybody, take care. Good night. Bye-bye.